रहो बेफिक्र।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात।
वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है।
अरे मेरे राजा,
मुस्कुराए लड़खड़ाए जिंदगी, चाहे जो भी हो।
सर, पेशेंट के लिए कौन सा रूम प्रेफर करेंगे आप?
जिंदगी भर के प्यार का कोई रेट कार्ड नहीं होता। टाटा AIG हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, विद यू लाइक फैमिली, विद यू ऑलवेज।
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला।
इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
पहाड़ों में एक हाइकिंग शिप भी बन सकती है।
प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, delicious, healthy, every day.
The icy cold waters of the Atlantic Ocean are getting hot, and how? The United States, in an overnight operation, has seized 2 oil tankers, one in the North Atlantic near Iceland, the other one near the Caribbean Sea. The one
Powered by Century Ply Club Prime। रहो बेफिक्र।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात।
वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है।
अरे मेरे राजा,
मुस्कुराए लड़खड़ाए जिंदगी, चाहे जो भी हो।
सर, पेशेंट के लिए कौन सा रूम प्रेफर करेंगे आप?
जिंदगी भर के प्यार का कोई रेट कार्ड नहीं होता। टाटा AIG हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, विद यू लाइक फैमिली, विद यू ऑलवेज।
MDH की देगी मिर्च,
देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मिर्च।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, delicious, healthy, every day.
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
The icy cold waters of the Atlantic Ocean are getting hot, and how? The United States, in an overnight operation, has seized 2 oil tankers, one in the North Atlantic near Iceland, the other one near the Caribbean Sea. The one caught or seized near Iceland is Russia flagged, and the one that's caught near the Caribbean Sea was apparently a shadow tanker, a dark tanker carrying Venezuelan oil to China. Now, both the tankers were carrying Venezuelan oil, which is sanctioned by the United States. There is an embargo. It's interesting and a little curious how the 2 tankers could leave such heavily guarded waters, which are guarded both by the US Coast Guard and the US Navy.
as a happened
rioters attacked police near the Faizi Ilahi Mosque in the national capital. Violence over a false piece of news on mosque demolition. Fake news that mirrored the anti-CAA riots where officers were once again attacked. Citizens were killed. From there, we take you to Bengaluru, where we get you the story of how entire communities of infiltrators attempting to live off the grid in plain sight moved in, managed in many ways to set up colonies and camps without anybody taking notice. From industrial belts to quiet lanes, our investigation exposing how these settlements survived the networks behind them. And finally, the pictures that are coming in from Iran. Speaking of an uprising, a people's movement, nationwide protests, Iranians, including merchants who once supported the state, taking to the streets, and with the rial plummeting, communications cut, the country is facing a break point while the exiled prince urges the people onward rather, to come out on the streets. Ladies and gentlemen, Republic investigates a moment that stunned the nation. A sitting chief minister walks into an enforcement directorate raid. She's seen leaving with files from the scene. She's holding the files and she boasts about taking the files away from a raid site. Officers of the enforcement directorate allege they were stopped, confined and obstructed by the police. There are visuals, there are confrontations, there is proof that files were stolen, and we have many unanswered questions. Most basic of them all, what was inside those files that left the I-PAC office in Kolkata? Green file that the chief minister held in her hand vanished. Reporters were assaulted. Trinamool Congress unleashing chaos from Kolkata to Delhi. What secrets was Mamata hiding? What was in those stolen documents? All of last week, these are the unprecedented scenes that unfolded in Kolkata. At best, it is obstruction to justice, and at worst, a desperate cover-up by a sitting chief minister. Take a look.
চুরির টাকা ব্যবহার হয়েছে দিদি মমতা ব্যানার্জি চুরির টাকা ব্যবহার করেছেন মমতা ব্যানার্জি আপনারা কি চুরির টাকা ইলেকশনে ব্যবহার করেছেন
In the heart of Kolkata, an enforcement directorate raid underway.
আমি ছবি দেখে ফাইল নিয়ে সঞ্জয় নাইয়া এই মুহূর্তে ফাইল নিয়ে বানিয়ে যাচ্ছেন ফাইল নিয়ে মমতা বন্দ্যোপাধ্যায় আসার পর তার গাড়িতে ফাইল ঢোকানো হচ্ছে এই মুহূর্তে ছবি দেখানো হচ্ছে ফাইল ঢোকানো হচ্ছে
The location, I-PAC office.
ফাইল এত ফাইলে কি আছে মমতা বন্দ্যোপাধ্যায় গাড়িতে ফাইল ঢোকানো হলো ফাইল নিয়ে বানিয়ে যাচ্ছে ফাইল নিয়ে মমতা বন্দ্যোপাধ্যায়
The allegation, Hawala linked financial irregularities in the coal scam. Over 20 crore rupees funneled illegally, funds suspected for TMC's Goa elections. then the unexpected. A sitting chief minister storms into an active central investigation, flanked by security. An unprecedented power play. And then the file. Mamata Banerjee leaving green files clearly visible in her hand. Green files leaving the scene of a raid on camera. Republic confronts the CM head-on. Our reporter demands answers on the spot. No answer. But questions mount. Are these files tied to the Hawala coal scam?
মমতা বন্দ্যোপাধ্যায় কয়লার টাকা কি গোয়া নির্বাচনে ব্যবহার করা হয়েছিল?
আপনি ভালো বলতে পারবেন, বিজেপিকে জিজ্ঞেস করুন। দাঁড়ান, কয়লার টাকা অমিত শাহ ব্যবহার করেছেন, অমিত শাহ ব্যবহার করেছেন, রাজনাথ সিং ব্যবহার করেছেন, জগন্নাথ চট্টোপাধ্যায় ব্যবহার করেছেন, শুভেন্দু অধিকারী ব্যবহার করেছেন, এবং তাই আপনাকে বলছি যে আপনি ইডি তাদের রেড করুক, অমিত শাহকে রেড করুক, অমিত শাহকে রেড করুক, শুভেন্দুকে রেড করুক, জগন্নাথ চট্টোপাধ্যায়কে রেড করুক, রাজনাথকে রেড করুক। থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ, থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ, থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ। যতই বিজেপি করুন, হবে না কো জয়, দিনে দিনে হবে আপনাদের ক্ষয়। আর বাংলা দালাল, আর বাংলা দালাল, আর বাংলা দালাল।
Tensions boil over. TMC goons turn violent, targeting our team.
What these people are doing, I'll show here. These gundas are trying to harass us. These are the gundas who are trying to harass us. This is the situation of West Bengal. This is the situation of West Bengal, where the TMC cadres are harassing Republic Network because we are speaking for the people. But we will stand here and we will report. We will talk for the people. These are TMC cadres trying to harass us.
The scandal spreads to Delhi. TMC stages a desperate protest, blaming the centre. TMC stages protest in Delhi outside Amit Shah's residence. MPs chant slogans, wave placards. Eight TMC MPs detained in the showdown. Drama unfolds as Republic presses for truth.
You're seeing what is happening with Amit Shah Delhi police. You're seeing what is happening to MPs. All our MPs have been picked up. Stop, Governor. Governor, no. ये देखो क्या हो रहा है. What are we being detained? You look at this. You're seeing what is happening with Amit Shah's Delhi police. You're seeing what is happening to MPs. All our MPs have been picked up. Stop, Governor. Governor, no. Don't demolition. ये मत करो. ये देखो क्या हो रहा है. अमित शाह, शर्म करो.
Sir, you are still running away from our questions, sir.
Republic questions them again.
We have a very generous question. That green file that was taken away during an ongoing ED investigation, ma'am.
And yet, silence speaks volumes. TMC MPs echo deflection. but no answers emerge.
Each time we protect को तो drag ही कर जाते हैं.
Can you at least answer our questions instead of running away from the actual questions? Will you answer?
आई एम नॉट रनिंग अवे. तुम मेरे जितना तुम्हारे उम्र है ना उतने साल तो मैंने राजनीति कर ली, उतने साल में क्रिकेट.
You are still running away, sir. You are still running away from our questions, sir.
जर्नलिज्म करो तो अच्छे से करो बेटा.
Sir, we have a very generous question.
जवाब का फालतू क्वेश्चन का.
Sir, how is sir फालतू जवाब कैसे हो सकता है सर जब
जबान क्यों लड़ते हो? मेरा बेटा जबान नहीं लड़ाता, तुम जबान लड़ा रहे हो.
So what will be the next course of action? As a party, what will be the next course of action?
No, the party is going to come up with some plan which we'll come to know. And obviously, it was everybody knows that I-PAC has been our agency since 2019, and our political strategies are decided there, and the programs and other things were all there. So obviously, all those Mr. Shah was trying to take away via ED, which he failed. So I mean, that's all I can say. Nothing.
What was in that green file?
Discussions that happened in the DCP office at the police station?
Well, the DCP came just now.
So what was in that green file that was taken away?
Discussion happened with the director.
So what was in that? So what was in that green file that was taken away during an ongoing ED investigation, sir?
As soon as you find out, let me know.
So why was it so essential for you to take out that green file?
यार मैं तुमसे हाथ जोड़ता हूँ.
Sir, at least
I don't want to answer to Republic. As simple as that. I'm not answerable. I'm not answerable. You ask questions. I'm not answerable to you. बेटा नहीं बेटा. No. अच्छा चलो बेटा please.
You are running away from our questions, sir.
I'm not running away बेटा.
That is evident, sir. That is evident.
Everything you see this cut is all cricket ball.
Okay.
Never run away बेटा. Never run away.
जिस दिन बीजेपी बंगाल में आया था और बीजेपी बंगाल में 60 सीट जीते थे, उस दिन ही बंगाल का ब्लैक डे हो गया. जिस दिन प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी बने थे, उस दिन ही ब्लैक डे हो गया. जिस दिन बीजेपी बंगाल में जाके मोहन बंगाल को मोहन बेंगन बोलते हैं, जिस दिन रविंद्रनाथ ठाकुर और विवेकानंद का डिफरेंस नहीं जानते, उस दिन ही बंगाल में ब्लैक डे हो गया. तो बीजेपी बंगाल में जितना ब्लैक डे लाए हैं और ब्लैक डे देखने को बाकी नहीं है हम लोग का. अभी सबसे बड़ा ब्लैक डे उन लोग देखेगा जब मई महीना में, जब उन लोग 10 के इनकम नीचे आ जाएंगे.
Was it justified to disturb an ongoing?
We are not speaking to our chief minister already told us what Republic is. Don't tell us about it. Sorry, what are you talking about? Okay, as you've seen that yesterday we had a full in across every block in Bengal. We had a protest at the grassroots level. Today we have done our protest here, and Mamata Banerjee, as we speak, is leading a protest from 8B bus stand to the Hazra stop.
What was in that green file that was taken away during an ongoing ED investigation, ma'am?
आप बताइए ये नया क्या है? हम लोग जब मनरेगा के लिए गए थे मंत्रालय में, पंचायत में, तब भी ड्रैग किया गया था. Each time we protect को तो ड्रैग ही कर जाते हैं. So it's nothing new. This is the BJP's way of dealing with opponents.
What was in that green file that was taken during an ongoing ED investigation, ma'am?
Back in Kolkata, Mamata stages a protest. And there too, not a word on the secrets she escaped with.
আমি কাল যা করেছি অ্যাজ এ অল ইন্ডিয়া তৃণমূল কংগ্রেসের চেয়ারম্যান করেছি, এবং যা করেছি আমি কোনো অন্যায় করিনি. তুমি আমায় খুন করতে এসছো, আমার আত্মরক্ষা করার অধিকার আছে. চোরের মতো কেন এসছো?
ED fights back. A plea in Calcutta High Court accuses Banerjee of obstruction, evidence theft. But the HC adjourns the hearing on the Enforcement Directorate's petition after large-scale commotion and overcrowding disrupted court proceedings, forcing the judge to rise minutes after the matter was taken up. Next hearing, January 14, even as the ED moves swiftly, seeking an urgent hearing before another bench and goes to the Supreme Court. The Green Files, TMC claims party strategies, candidate lists, but ED insists Hawala trails, coal scam links. What hides within? Prateek Jain, I-PAC co-founder at the center. His residence raided, devices seized before Banerjee's intervention. ED claims Hawala operators exposed, funds layered through Kolkata to Goa 2018 to 2022. I-PAC's role facilitating crime proceeds. Mamata's defense, nasty Home Minister stealing our plans, but actions scream cover up.
To collect all of our party hard disk, the candidate list, the party strategy, the party plan. Is it the duty of the ED and Amit Shah? The nasty Home Minister? The naughty Home Minister?
ED's probe stalled, but court battle looms. Obstruction FIR imminent. A CM's raid on raiders, evidence stolen on camera. The nation demands what was in the I-PAC green file. This is power unchecked. Republic exposes the rot, and this time it's all on camera.
Enforcement Directorate's probe reveals that there is a 20 crore hawala angle that has emerged. That's the fresh evidence that they have been talking about, and it finds a mention in the petition that has been filed in the Calcutta High Court. In fact, the Enforcement Directorate says that hawala transaction took place not just domestically but also internationally. But as far as this money goes, 20 crore in cash, the money was transferred from Kolkata to Goa and it was received by I-PAC and it was used for campaigning purposes in the state of Goa. What was meant to be an anti-encroachment drive following a court order became a very dangerous scenario in the national capital. When rioters armed with stones went on a rampage, fueled with hate sponsored by fake news peddlers, they're the Delhi pelter gangs. Now these rioters started pelting stones on those who were there to simply do their duty. Several police officers were injured in the last few days when they went to simply oversee a demolition. It's important to note that the demolition itself took place around the Faiz-e-Ilahi Mosque, the same mosque in Delhi where Umar Nabi, one of the Delhi bombers, went to offer prayers shortly before he blew himself near Red Fort. But most importantly, what the story of Delhi pelter gangs tells us is that fake news combined with radical hate can lead to riots. This is how a riot was made in the national capital.
Delhi has seen many riots. The memories of January 2020 are still fresh. As pelters took over the streets, 53 people were killed in 48 hours. 6 years on, this is how hate was spread and fake news peddled. A man openly instigating rioters to gather in large numbers near Turkman Gate last week. Here's another youth claiming that the curfew in place is for the demolition of the Faiz-e-Ilahi Mosque.
दिखाता हूँ कितने बिल्डोजर आए हैं। ये देखो, ये 1, 2, 3, क्रेन आई हुई है, ये 4, 5, इसके पीछे 6, 7, 8, 9, ये 10, ये 11, ये 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, ये क्रेन 20, ये क्रेन और 4 पीछे भी आ रही है, तो ये क्रेन आ रही है मलबा उठाने के लिए। 20 तो ऐसे ही हो गई है, और ये देखो आगे भी बिल्डोजर है 4 और, ये देख लो 4 ये है, यानी मेरे भाइयों, घर पे बैठने से कुछ नहीं होगा। घर से निकलो, दरगाह फैजलाई के बाहर आओ, पूरी रात काली करो, मस्जिद को कुछ होने नहीं देना है, जल्दी से।
He too is asking other rioters to reach the place.
ये देखो जो दरगाह फैजलाई का मैटर चल रहा था भाई, देखो आज इन्होंने देखो बिल्डोजर भी बुला लिए हैं और इनकी पूरी मिलिट्री भी आ गई है। भाई देखो आप, भाई ज्यादा से ज्यादा लोग भाई दरगाह फैजलाई पे।
This is another video instigating Muslims to gather in large numbers around Faiz-e-Ilahi Mosque as Delhi saw another riot. A High Court order, an opportunity for fake news peddlers. A mobilized, radicalized mob, open defiance of law enforcement, an attack on the administration. Samajwadi Party MP Mohibullah Nadvi was also seen leading the mob. In the heart of Delhi, implementing a High Court order became an unsurmountable and life-threatening task for the Delhi police. On the 7th of January, the MCD conducted a demolition drive to remove encroachments near the Faiz-e-Ilahi Mosque in the Turkman Gate area of Delhi. This is the same mosque where the white-collar terrorist and primary Delhi blast accused suicide bomber Umar Nabi went to offer prayers before carrying out the blast. As the demolition was underway, a large number of residents gathered outside the mosque, raising slogans and protesting against the action. The situation quickly turned volatile when the mob began pelting stones at security personnel. The police responded by firing tear gas shells to disperse the protesters and prevent the unrest from spreading. The action was as per a Delhi High Court judgment directing the authorities to take appropriate action to clear the encroachments. The battle to clear the encroachment began in May 2025 when Save India Foundation, an NGO, complained about encroachments on government land. This included a community marriage hall, a community diagnostic center, and even a guest house adjacent to the Faiz-e-Ilahi Mosque. The Delhi Development Authority, MCD, and the Union Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs released a joint survey report which was later used by Save India Foundation to approach court. The structures only encroaching on government land were being demolished. The mosque remained untouched. When Republic's team reached the ground, this is what we saw.
रात के तकरीबन 3 बजने वाले हैं और तकरीबन इस लोकेशन पर आप देख सकते हैं 6 से 7 जेसीबी मशीनें जो हैं वो उस वक्त स्पॉट पर मौजूद हैं और लगातार इस अवैध निर्माण को जो है वो जमींदोज किया जा रहा है। तकरीबन 3 मंजिला ये पूरा अवैध निर्माण था, जिस अवैध निर्माण को यहाँ पर पूरी तरह से जमींदोज कर दिया गया है और आप देख सकते हैं बुलडोजर के जरिए इस अवैध अतिक्रमण का मलबा जो है वो हटाया जा रहा है।
In its December 22nd order, the MCD had stated that by no stretch of imagination, masjid or dargah or graveyard can be used as a marriage venue or clinic. The MCD added that it was a blatant misuse of public land in view of above any structure beyond 0.195 acre of land is an encroachment and deserves to be removed. Listen in to what police had to say on what unfolded as they followed court directions.
लैंड ओनिंग एजेंसी जो एमसीडी है, एमसीडी ने हमें पहले ही ये किया था, इंटीमेट किया था कि एक ऐसा लैंड है कभी भी हम इनको डेमोलिश कर सकते हैं, ये हाई कोर्ट की ऑर्डर है। तो जैसा ही हमें एमसीडी ने इंटीमेट किया कि वी आर रेडी फॉर एक्शन, वी मोबिलाइज द स्टाफ, हमने मैक्सिमम स्टाफ मोबिलाइज किया। बट बेसिकली जब स्टार्ट हुआ तो इनिशियली थोड़ा सा some miscreants created problem। तो
सर वो क्या था, कितने लोग थे, किस मंशा से आए थे?
ये 100 के आसपास लोग थे जो उनको समझाने की हमने काफ़ी कोशिश की, फिर बाद में उनको उधर से हटने के लिए बोला तो दे स्टार्टेड पेल्टिंग स्टोन्स। पत्थरबाजी हुई थी बट मिनिमम अमाउंट ऑफ फोर्स यूज करके हम लोगों ने उनको पुश बैक किया, फिर उसके बाद पूरा प्रोसेस स्मूथली हुआ।
Republic's Deputy Executive Editor Shavan Sen spoke to Joint Commissioner of Police Madhur Verma hours after the first video of the pelting came in.
See, we cannot rule out the possibility of it being a pre-planned violent stone pelting attack. It cannot be ruled out. However, in just matter of few minutes, Delhi police, made sure that they were, overpowered. 5 of them were arrested, and remaining also ran away. And the entire process of demolition and encroachment removal carried out smoothly. It started at 1 a.m. in the midnight and continued till 7 a.m. And at the moment also that debris removal exercise is going on. Situation is absolutely normal at the moment. There were these miscreants who tried to stop the process, giving it a different color. They are booked and being investigated by our special staff. Inspector Special Staff is looking into all the aspects, including the conspiracy, including those social media reels, videos which tried to influence those protesters. They are being looked into by our special staff, and we will definitely take action on them also.
The Delhi Pelter gangs wanted to mobilize with fake news and religious instigation. The situation remained tense on Friday, with police leaving no room for negligence in view of Friday prayers. As per the police, around 30 people offered Friday prayers at the same mosque. A large number of police and paramilitary personnel were deployed in sensitive pockets to maintain law and order.
कल जो 5 लोगों जो गिरफ्तार किया था उनको कोर्ट में पेश की थी, तो कोर्ट ने 1 दिन की जेसी दिया और आज उनका दोबारा मतलब रेगुलर एमएम के पास सामने पेशी थी। तो आज हमारा टीम उनको लेके जा रहे हैं फर्दर कार्रवाई के लिए। इसके अलावा आज हमने 6 लोगों को और गिरफ़्तार किया है जो सीसीटीवी और लोकल इंटेलिजेंस के बेसिस में।
तुर्कमान गेट में हुई हिंसा मामले में दिल्ली पुलिस ने अभी तक 11 लोगों को गिरफ्तार किया है और वहीं 2 दर्जन से भी ज्यादा लोगों से दिल्ली पुलिस लगातार पूछताछ कर रही है। स्पेशल इन्वेस्टिगेशन टीम इस पूरे मामले में सेटअप कर दी गई है जो अलग अलग एंगल पर इस पूरे मामले की जांच कर रही है। वहीं एक टीम सोशल मीडिया पर नजर बनाए हुए है। अभी तक की जांच में खुलासा हुआ कि दिल्ली पुलिस ने 10 सोशल मीडिया इन्फ्लुएंसर की लिस्ट बनाई। ये वो लोग हैं जिनके फॉलोअर्स बहुत ज्यादा है और इन लोगों ने भड़काऊ पोस्ट अपने सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म पर किए और अब एक एक करके दिल्ली पुलिस इन सभी को समन भेज रही है, जिसमें समाजवादी पार्टी के सांसद भी शामिल है, जिसमें सलमान नाम का एक यूट्यूबर भी शामिल है, जिसमें एक महिला जो कि जामिया की रहने वाली है, यूट्यूबर है, उसको भी दिल्ली पुलिस ने समन किया और उससे पूछताछ की जाएगी कि आखिरकार ये भ्रमित पोस्ट उन्होंने अपने सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म पर क्यों डाले।
This is how the area around Faiz-e-Ilahi Mosque looks like as of now, free of encroachment. This included approximately 2,512 square feet of road and footpath maintained by the Public Works Department. Another 36,248 square feet of an adjoining Ram Leela ground was also encroached, where a marriage hall and a private clinic were operating. As per official records, only 8,406 square feet of land was given on lease in 1940 for the masjid. Going by the prism of law, it was a simple demolition, carried out successfully, but if the pelters had their way, Delhi would have been witness to another riot last week.
Bengaluru is known as India's tech capital, known for its sprawling IT parks, promises of opportunity and the booming economy. But beyond all of the headlines is hidden settlements which tell you a different story. A story of people living off the grid, far from official oversight. No, these are not Indians who travel from different parts of the country to settle in Bengaluru to find a living. Now, in these shadows, entire communities are allegedly brought in, housed and moved for money, existing in plain sight, yet largely invisible to authorities. From the quiet lanes of Kagalipura in Bengaluru to the industrial belt of Madanayakkanahalli, the scale is staggering of the infiltrators. And these networks complete the questions that we have tonight. How did these infiltrators get into Bengaluru? How did thousands of them, lakhs of them, get into Bengaluru? Most of them from Bangladesh. How do they survive? How did they get the documents? And why did it take the Republic Media Network to trigger action. These are the invisible infiltrators of Bengaluru.
Bengaluru, India's Silicon Valley, a city that promises opportunity to millions, drawing people not just from far across the country, but far beyond its border. But as the city expands away from skyscrapers and gated communities, settlements have emerged outside official records, and an infiltrator hub is quickly taking shape in a hidden plain sight.
None of them have a valid ID card from Burma as well. They also had...
A Republic Kannada investigation has uncovered alleged illegal Bangladeshi immigrants living in this settlement for years, quietly, unnoticed, and outside the legal system.
Well, there were several other allegations that the Bangladeshis have illegally immigrated to the very own city, Bengaluru. And I am in one such location, which is just a couple of kilometers away from one of the prestigious ashram in the Kanakpura road. This is the exact location where many of the families who have illegally come down from Bangladesh and are staying in the same location for the last 4 years. This is the location where they have built their own tents. All of them have no valid ID cards with them.
These are not just individuals passing through the city in search of work. These are organized clusters of people who live here illegally and work as rag pickers. They claim desperation forced them to risk everything, paying nearly Rs 25,000 per person to agents who promised safety and a new life in India.
इंडिया के आने के पहले कहाँ पे थी आप?
पहले म्यांमार से बांग्लादेश आया। बांग्लादेश
कितना महीने थे आप?
2 महीना लिया। 2 महीना।
पैसा कहाँ पे दिया आपने? बांग्लादेश में?
नहीं।
कहाँ पे?
इंडिया में।
इंडिया में?
इंडिया में।
कितना देना था?
4 बच्चा को मेरे को 60,000 लिया। मेरे हस्बैंड को 25,000 लिया।
ओके।
इतना लिया।
यहाँ पे आधार कार्ड, आईडी कार्ड?
आईडी कार्ड, आधार कार्ड कुछ भी नहीं है सर। मेरे को वो इन्हीं 4 का वो भी है ना, इधर से छोटा छोटा 2 कार्ड दिया मेरे को, मेरे हस्बैंड को, और बच्चा को फॉर्म दिया था।
आपको पता है आप यहाँ रहना इलीगल है?
इधर रहने के लिए, रुकने के लिए कार्ड दिया।
कौन सा कार्ड है क्या आपके पास अभी?
थाना में चेक करने के लिए लेके गया, अभी गया था।
अभी गया?
अभी गया, मेरा हस्बैंड गया।
4 साल से यहाँ पे हो, लेकिन अभी गया?
नहीं, पहले दिया था ना, थाना में रख के दिया, अभी लेने के लिए गया।
नाम क्या है आपका?
From crossing the border to allegedly being guided across states, their journey reportedly spans from Bangladesh through Jammu and finally into the city of Bengaluru. Language barriers, missing documents and conflicting identity claims. Many say they are from Myanmar but cannot produce proof. What raises concern is not just illegal entry, but how long such settlements can function without triggering intervention. How people without identity papers are able to live openly, work daily, and remain largely invisible to enforcement agencies.
The Republic Media Network exposed that the illegal...
Action followed only after Republic Kannada's team reached the ground. Police moved in, residents were detained, and the settlement was cleared. The residents were first taken to Kagalipura police station and later shifted to the Foreigners Regional Registration Office in Shantinagar for verification.
After the Republic Media Network exposed that the illegal Bangladeshis or the Bangladeshis have illegally entered India and also they were staying in the Kaglipura police station limits of the Bengaluru rural area, all the women and the children who were in the Kaglipura police station limits for the last 3 to 4 months illegally have now been secured by the Kaglipura police, and now they have been brought to the Kaglipura police station as of now, and all these women and children along with their families will be taken to the FRR office in Shantinagar, after which the government decides if they will have to deport these women and children along with their family to Bangladesh, or if they have to be kept under detention for some more time.
It took the authorities a media investigation in order to take action against a settlement right under their radar for half a decade, and the immigration put on stake for rupees 25,000 each. 45 kilometers from Kagalipura lies Madanayakanahalli. The scale of this alleged infiltrator operation grows, not just in dozens, not in hundreds, but in thousands. Locals and workers here speak openly about the presence of thousands of alleged illegal Bangladeshi nationals, numbers that suggest organized settlement rather than isolated migration.
इधर काम के लिए वो बुलाते हैं, पैसा देते हैं कि नहीं? खाना, पैसे, हेल्थ चेकअप
वो नहीं सब देता।
हाँ,
वो सब नहीं देता, वो पगार बात करता है 400-500 में चला जाता है, काम करता है बस।
हाँ, कितना लोग है इधर बांग्ला का?
कम से कम तुमको ये पूरा सराउंडिंग में मादनाकनली का सराउंडिंग पूरा ढूंढ लिया तो तुमको 2-3 हज़ार लोग मिल जाता है।
2-3 हज़ार?
उससे भी ज़्यादा है।
कैसे आता है भैया वो?
आ जाता है, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट पे आ जाता है। अब मैं आ गया, मैं तो ले लेता हूँ उधर। अब मेरे को तो पैसा मिलता है अच्छा खासा, मैं क्या करता हूँ और 4 लोग को बुला लेता हूँ।
कम तो कम पगार तो देना चाहिए ना वो?
ऐसा हो जाता।
ಒಂದು ಫೋಟೋ ತಗೊಂಬಿಡಿ. फोटो है, फोटो लेते हैं घर का।
हाँ ले लो।
इधर नहीं रहता है ना वो?
नहीं, इधर छोड़ दिया सेट, इधर नहीं है, पूरा अलग-अलग चला गया उधर।
2,000 to 3,000 people living in one area raises serious questions about how such large numbers entered the country. Questions about how they remain undocumented, and the biggest question being how authorities fail to notice their presence.
ಸರ್, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹೆಸರೇನು?
ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ನಸುರ್ಲಾ ಅಂತ ಸರ್.
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತಾವೇನು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ?
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಡ್ರೈವಿಂಗ್ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು ಕಂಪ್ನಿಯಾಗಿ.
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂನ್ಸಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್ ಇದು?
ಸರ್,
ಯಾರ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂನ್ಸಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ? ಯಾವ MLA ಯಾರು?
ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ.
ಅಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಬಾಂಗ್ಲಾದವರು ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರಂತಲ್ಲ ಪಾಪ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಡವರು.
ಹಾಂ ಸರ್,
ಬಾಂಗ್ಲಾದವರು ಬಂದಿರ್ತಾರಂತಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಓಡಿಸಿದಾರಂತ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ, ಏನು ಕತೆ ಇದು?
ಹಿಂಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಚಪ್ಪಲಿ ಗಿಪ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಿದ್ದಾವ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಓಡೋಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಟ್ಟೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಎಲ್ಲ.
ಅಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ, ಅವ್ರು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆ ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದಾರಂತ ಪಾಪ, ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ?
ಅವ್ರು ಒಬ್ಬರಾದ್ರೂ ಸಿಕ್ಕರೆ ಏನೋ ನಾವು ಮಾಹಿತಿ ಕೇಳ್ಬೋದು, ಒಬ್ಬರು ಸಿಗಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು ಮಾಹಿತಿ.
ನಾವು ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂತ ಇದ್ದವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕೆಲವರು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಪೋಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಸರ್. ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀನಿ ವಿಡಿಯೋಸ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ನಾವು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ. ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅವ್ರು ಬಾಂಗ್ಲಾದಿಂದ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ?
ಏನಿಲ್ಲ, ಬರೋದಂದ್ರೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಕರೆದಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಅವರು
ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಅವರು
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಕೆಲಸ ಇರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಲಿಂಕ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಈಗ ಅವ್ರು ಏನಪ್ಪ ಅಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ಲೇಬರಿಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟ ಅಂತ ಕಮಿಷನ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಈಗ ನಾನೇ ಡ್ರೈವರ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಈಗ ನನಗೆ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ನನಗೆ 30,000 ಮಾತಾಡಿರ್ತಾನೆ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ 35,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಮಾತಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ.
ಇವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕೊಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ.
ಈಗ ಹಂಗೆ ಅವ್ರು ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಇಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರ ಸಂಬಳ. ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಿರೋದು ಏನಪ್ಪ ಅಂದರೆ ಇವರಿಗೆ ಏನಂದ್ರೂ ಒಂದು 15,000 ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಕೂಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ 15,000ಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬಂದಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರಲ್ಲ ಮೇಷ್ಟ್ರು,
ಓಡಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದಾರಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ.
ಅಲ್ಲ, ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ ಅವರು. 4-5 ತಿಂಗಳು ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಉಪವಾಸ.
ಮತ್ತೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಸರ್ ಈ ಥರ ಬಡವರು? ಬಡವರು ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ
ಇಲ್ಲಿ? ಬಡವರು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಯಾವ ಸೈಡ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಆ ಕಡೆ ಮೂಲೆಗೆ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕೇಳಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂದರೆ. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಏನಪ್ಪ ಕೂಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡೋರಿಗೆ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಇವ್ರು ಯಾರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅಕ್ಕಪಕ್ಕದವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಯಾರ ನಾವು ಅಂಗಡಿ ಇರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಕಿರಾಣಿ ಅಂಗಡಿಯವರು ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗಿ ಇವರು ಇದು ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ತಗೊಂಡು ಬರೋದು ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ.
From Kogilu to Kagalipura, from Madanayakannahalli to the edges of Bengaluru's industrial belt, this is no longer the story of one demolition or one settlement. It is the story of how Bengaluru has turned into a quiet transit zone. A place where people are brought in for money, housed for money, and moved for money. Identities are made, documents are arranged, votes are counted and sold at different prices at India's Silicon Valley.
Moving on now, we get you the biggest global headline, ladies and gentlemen, of the last week. Iran is on the brink. Across cities and provinces, Iranian streets are burning. And for the first time in several decades, the bazaris, the merchants, the shopkeepers who once upheld the state, who backed the Islamic regime, have turned against it. The iconic lion and sun flag has risen again, symbolizing a serious challenge to the Islamic Republic. The rial is plunged in Iran. Prices have soared in the last few months, and the people have taken to the streets in different cities despite an internet blackout. From exile, Reza Pahlavi has urged crowds onward, while Tehran dismisses it all as foreign meddling under Trump's watch. Tonight, Iran is at a break point. Here's the full story.
Iran plunged into a complete internet blackout on 8th of January 2026 as protests driven by economic hardship continued to spread across cities and provinces. Despite the communications shutdown, videos filmed by protesters and circulated through limited channels showed crowds gathering after dark, with fires burning on major streets and chants echoing across residential neighborhoods. One image cut through the nose, the lion and sun flag, the emblem that served as the state flag of Iran from 1907 until the 1979 Islamic Revolution. Its appearance signaled something, a direct challenge to the political identity of the Islamic Republic itself. Protests gained further momentum after Iran's crown prince in exile, Reza Shah Pahlavi's message to the masses.
و قطعا توجه کردید که ازدحام جمعیت باعث این میشه که نیروها پس بروند و امکان ریزش رو به سمت شما بیشتر میکنن. بنابراین مهم استش که این انضباط و گستردگی رو حفظ بکنیم. من اولین فراخوان خود را امروز با شما در میان میگذارم و از شما دعوت میکنم که این جمعه و پنجشنبه 18 و 19 دی ماه را سر ساعت 8 شب همگی چه در خیابان‌ها یا حتی از منازل خودتون شروع به شعار سر دادن بکنید. در نتیجه بازخورد این حرکت‌ها من فراخوان‌های بعدی رو به شما اعلام خواهم کرد.
Following Reza Shah Pahlavi's message, the protests peaked in Tehran's Grand Bazaar. Anger erupted after the Iranian rial plunged to historic lows, reaching more than 1.4 million rials to the dollar, and the government ended a subsidized exchange rate for importers, triggering overnight spikes in food prices.
مثلا تخم مرغ ما حدود یه هفته پیش 220 میگرفتیم، الان خریدیم 350. صبحی خریدم 350. همین جنسای دیگه هم همینجوری پلیس روغن اینا برنج همینجوری رفته بالا.
واقعا نمیتونستن. خیلی ضعیف شده بازار ما پارسال این موقع خیلی اصلا مغازمون خیلی شلوغ‌تر از این بود. امسال واقعا اصلا یه ساعتی یه مشتری نمیاد مغازه. اوضاع اصلا خیلی از الان بگم یعنی خوب نیستش واقعیتش.
یه لیتر روغن که 79 تومن بوده شده 185 تومن و بقیه اجناس هم به همین ترتیب که خودشون اعلام کردن تا هفته آینده بین 50% تا 100% گرون میشه. همراه با گرونی اینا الباقی خدمات در کشور هم میره بالا، یعنی تمام تحریف پیدا میکنه به همه نیازهای مردم.
The government of Iran was quick to dismiss the protest as foreign-backed demonstrators.
دیشب در تهران در بعضی جای دیگه یه مش تخریبگر آمدن ساختمان متعلق به کشور خودشون رو خراب کردن. مثلا فرض کنید فلان ساختمان دیواری رو خراب کردن برای که دل رئیس جمهور آمریکا خوش، چون او گفته که حرف بی ربطی که اگر چنانچه دولت ایران چنین کنه من میام به طرف شما رو میگیرم. این طرف این اغتشاشگرها و افراد مضر برای کشور، این هم دلشون او خوشه. او اگه میتونه کشور خودشو اداره کنه، تو کشور خودش حوادث گوناگونی وجود داره، او دستش به خون بیش از 1000 ایرانی آلوده است. در جنگ 12 روزه 1000 و اندی از هممیهنان ما، حالا غیر از سرداران و دانشمندان و بزرگان، از آحاد مردم به شهادت رسیدن. این شخص گفت که من دستور دادم، من در جنگ فرماندهی کردم، بس اعتراف کرد دستش به خون ایرانیا آموده است. وقت میگه من طرفدار ملت ایرانم، یه مش آدم بی تجربه و بی توجه فکر نکردم باور میکنن و قبول میکنن و طبق میل او عمل میکنن.
و اون این که هم آمریکا و هم اسرائیل رسما اعلام کردن که در این آشوب‌ها دخالت دارن و نقش دارن. تظاهرات و اعتراضهای صلح‌آمیز رو به خشونت بکشن و به آشوبگری بکشن.
ما با معترض حرف میزنیم، باید حرف بزنن مسئولین با معترض، اما با اغتشاشگر حرف زدن فایده ای نداره. اغتشاشگر رو باید به جای خودش نشاند. ما در مقابل دشمن کوتاه نمیاییم. ما با اتکال به خدای متعال، با اتکال به خدای متعال و با اطمینان به همراهی مردم انشاءالله به توفیق الهی دشمن رو به زانو در خواهیم آورد.
From Washington, Donald Trump warned Tehran against a violent crackdown, raising the prospect of external pressure at a moment of internal unrest.
So Iran's in big trouble. It looks to me that the people are
taking over certain cities that nobody thought were really possible just a few weeks ago. We're watching the situation very carefully. I've made the statement very strongly that if they start killing people like they have in the past, we will get involved. We'll be hitting them very hard where it hurts. And that doesn't mean boots on the ground, but it means hitting them very, very hard where it hurts. So we don't want that to happen. There have been cases like this where President Obama totally backed down. But this is something pretty incredible that's happening in Iran. It's an amazing thing to watch. They've done a bad job. They've treated their people very badly, and now they're being paid back. So let's see what happens. We're watching it. We're watching it very closely.
From exile, Iran's former Crown Prince Reza Shah Pahlavi moved quickly to position himself as a rallying point.
همیهنانم آفرین به همگی شما که پنجشنبه شب خیابانها را در سرتاسر مملکت تسخیر کردید. به همه شما افتخار از رهبران میدانی دعوت میکنم که تلاش بکنند که جمعیت راه افتاده به همدیگر برسند تا حتی جمعیت بیشتر بشه. میدانم که شما خیابانها را رها نخواهید کرد. مطمئن باشید که پیروزی از آن شماست.
We are deeply disturbed by reports of violence during nationwide protests in Iran, including reported deaths and destruction of property over the past 13 days. The right to peaceful protest, as enshrined in international law, must be protected. All deaths should be promptly, independently and transparently investigated. Those responsible for any violations must be held to account in line with international norms and standards.
Iran has lived through protest before. In 2009, in 2019, and after the death of Mahsa Amini in 2022. Each wave crushed, each left deeper scars. But what distinguishes this moment is who started it. The bazaris, the traders and shopkeepers who have historically formed the economic backbone of the state and for decades remained aligned with the Islamic Republic. Their break from the system signals not just economic distress, but a collapse of confidence between the state and one of its most traditional support bases. With sanctions, regional conflict and domestic unrest converging, Iran's leadership is confronting pressure on multiple fronts with limited room to maneuver. What comes next depends on how far the state is prepared to push internal repression and how much external pressure it can absorb without losing control at home.
And that's it on this edition of the Long Form, ladies and gentlemen. Tomorrow morning, the Prime Minister will be in Somnath, marking 1,000 years since it was first attacked by invaders. We have a live coverage, and in case you missed the Long Form story, you can catch it again tomorrow, 12 p.m. Thanks for watching.
Powered by Century Ply Club Prime. Raho befikar.
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला.
In the global employability rankings by Times Higher Education UK, only the following 6 institutions from India are ranked amongst the top 230 in the world for having the most employable graduates. IIT Delhi, IISc Bangalore, IIT Bombay, IIM Ahmedabad, IIT Kharagpur and Amity University.
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल. ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े. क्या निराला MDH मसाला. मुस्कुराए लड़खड़ाए जिंदगी चाहे जो भी हो.
सर, पेशेंट के लिए कौन सा रूम प्रेफर करेंगे आप?
जिंदगी भर के प्यार का कोई रेट कार्ड नहीं होता. टाटा AIG हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, विद यू लाइक फैमिली, विद यू ऑलवेज.
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला। MDH।
The icy cold waters of the Atlantic Ocean are getting hot, and how? The United States, in an overnight operation, has seized 2 oil tankers, one in the North Atlantic near Iceland, the other one near the Caribbean Sea. The one caught or seized near Iceland is Russia flagged and
Powered by Century Ply Club Prime. Raho befikar.
मुस्कुराए लड़खड़ाए जिंदगी चाहे जो भी हो।
सर, पेशेंट के लिए कौन सा रूम प्रेफर करेंगे आप?
जिंदगी भर के प्यार का कोई रेट कार्ड नहीं होता। टाटा AIG हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, विद यू लाइक फैमिली, विद यू ऑलवेज।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो, मिलाओ और खाओ,
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
पहाड़ों में एक हाइकिंग स्टिक भी बन सकती है।
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला।
मुस्कुराए लड़खड़ाए जिंदगी चाहे जो भी हो।
सर, पेशेंट के लिए कौन सा रूम प्रेफर करेंगे आप?
जिंदगी भर के प्यार का कोई रेट कार्ड नहीं होता। टाटा AIG हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, विद यू लाइक फैमिली, विद यू ऑलवेज।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, ये तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा,
the icy cold waters of the Atlantic Ocean are getting hot, and how? The United States, in an overnight operation, has seized 2 oil tankers, one in the North Atlantic near Iceland, the other one near the Caribbean Sea. The one caught or seized near Iceland is Russia flagged, and the one that's caught near the Caribbean Sea was apparently a shadow tanker, a dark tanker carrying Venezuelan oil to China. Now,
Breaking news right now, BJP leader Shuvendu Adhikari has now made a stunning allegation against the Trinamool Congress. Says that he was attacked while he was on his way. In fact, some of the details that we have just picked up with the breaking news now coming in from Purulia, where we're given to understand that Shuvendu Adhikari, his convoy was first attacked. That's the latest now coming in. Shuvendu Adhikari himself has now put out a statement saying that around 8:20 this evening, while he was returning from Purulia at Chandrakona Road, Paschim Medinapur district, he was attacked by the Trinamool Congress goons. And in fact, he says that this attack happened in the presence of the police. The very guardians of law stood by like mute spectators. Now, in fact, he says that this is not just an attack on him, but it's an assault on every voice of the opposition in West Bengal. The Trinamool Congress's desperation is showing, resorting to thuggery because they can't face the heat of the people's rising anger. I'm sitting on dharna inside the Chandrakona police station is what Shuvendu Adhikari has to say, demanding immediate action and arrests. The people of Bengal deserve better than this lawless dictatorship. And he says that I will not budge until accountability is enforced. Now, on your screens, we're going to also take you through the latest images now coming in. Well, in fact, Shuvendu Adhikari, we'll try and also go across to my... In fact, Shuvendu Adhikari is joining us on this broadcast. Shuvendu ji, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद रिपब्लिक टीवी से बात करने के लिए। सबसे पहले आपसे जानना चाहूँगा कि आखिरकार क्या हुआ था आज शाम को जब आप कैंपेनिंग के लिए निकले थे, आपके साथ क्या हुआ?
नहीं, मेरा दोपहर प्रोग्राम था पुरुलिया का पारा में, बड़ा रैली हुआ 15-20 हजार का। ये रास्ता से मैं वापस रिटर्न कर रहा हूँ। मेरा कल एक कार्यक्रम है, उसलिए रात 8:30 बजे करीब यहाँ वेस्ट मिदनापुर बोल के एरिया है, मेरा प्रोग्राम 200-300 किलोमीटर दूर था। मैं रिटर्न कर रहा हूँ ऑन द बाई रोड। यहाँ टीएमसी का 10-12 गुंडा लोग पेट्रोल लेकर और हाथ में आपका स्टील स्टिक और आपका वुडन बटम ये सब लेकर जानलेवा हमला किया। 2 गाड़ी को पूरा उस गाड़ी के ऊपर आक्रमण किया, गाड़ी को ऊपर बहुत क्षति पहुंचाया है। यहाँ जो लोग था उसके ऊपर आक्रमण हुआ है इन प्रेजेंस ऑफ पुलिस। मैं पिछले 1 घंटा 8:30 बजे से यहाँ जो लोकल पुलिस स्टेशन है वहाँ धरना में हूँ। मेरा साथ बहुत इस एरिया का बीजेपी कार्यकर्ता लीडर लोग और पब्लिक भी आया है, लेकिन मैं धरना में हूँ। मैं रिटन कंप्लेंट दिया है। ये जिस तरीके से बंगाल में हालत ये लोग पैदा किया, ये जंगल राज नहीं, महाजंगल राज चल रहा है।
शुभेंदु जी, एक और सवाल करना चाहूंगा कि आप कह रहे हैं कि ममता के पुलिस के सामने ये हादसा हुआ और आपके ऊपर जानलेवा हमला की आप आरोप लगा रहे हैं। क्या कुछ लोग इस पूरे हमले में कुछ इंजरीज भी उनके हुए हैं? क्योंकि आपके साथ कई लोग शामिल थे, आपकी गाड़ी में कई लोग थे। क्या आप कुछ डिटेल्स बता सकते हैं कि आखिरकार क्या हुआ था?
नहीं, ये अटैक कर दिया अचानक, पूरा विद होम वेपन्स एंड पेट्रोल एंड केरोसिन। ये गाड़ी को आग लगाने के लिए पूरा 10-12 लोग गाड़ी को घेर कर पूरा आक्रमण किया अचानक रात 8:20 बजे। मेरा कार्यक्रम था पुरुलिया, यहाँ से 200-250 किलोमीटर दूर। When I returned from this area, they attacked me with the help of state police, in presence of state police.
आप ये कह रहे हैं कि शुभेंदु जी, ये बहुत बड़ी आरोप है। आप कह रहे हैं कि केरोसिन उनके साथ था, पेट्रोल लेकर चल रहे थे। क्या आप ये कहने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि आपकी गाड़ी, आपकी कॉन्वॉय पर आग लगाने की कोशिश की जा रही थी?
हाँ, दो गाड़ी को तो पूरा ये कर दिया ना, वैंडलाइज कर दिया।
आप कह रहे 2 गाड़ियों को वैंडलाइज किया गया। इस वक्त आप क्या मांग करेंगे? क्योंकि इस वक्त जब आपके साथ बात हो रही है, आप कह रहे हैं कि आप धरना पे बैठे हैं।
रिटन कंप्लेंट दे दिया है। इसमें 9 जो वीडियो फुटेज में आया है, 9 आदमी एक्यूज्ड है। अरेस्ट करने की मांग को लेकर मैं इंस्पेक्टर इंचार्ज दिस पुलिस स्टेशन मिस्टर अरुण गोप, इन फ्रंट ऑफ हिम मैं सीट ऑन स्ट्राइक धरना में बैठा हुआ हूँ। और मैं एक सैंडल में दिया है डीजी सीआरपीएफ, मैं सीआरपीएफ प्रोटेक्टिव हूँ। मैं स्टेट का होम सेक्रेटरी, डीजीपी और गवर्नर साहब को मैं किया है। अरेस्ट करना चाहिए, कानूनी कार्रवाई करना चाहिए। ये लोग ऑपोजिशन को खत्म करने के लिए सब कर रहा है बंगाल में। ये ममता बनर्जी का इशारा से कर रहा है। चुनाव आ रहा है, इसलिए ये जंगल राज को महाजंगल राज में तकलीफ कर दिया।
शुभेंदु जी, एक और एक सवाल करना चाहूंगा, क्योंकि आप लगातार कहते हैं कि आपके ऊपर जानलेवा हमला की कोशिश की जाती है और तृणमूल कांग्रेस के, ये तृणमूल कांग्रेस के लोग ही हैं। तृणमूल कांग्रेस उस तरफ से ये कहती है कि ये आप बताइए कि आखिरकार ये लोग तृणमूल के हैं कि किसी और पार्टी के हैं, इसका प्रूफ क्या है?
किसी का लीडर लोग है। मेरा एक सैंडल आप देख लीजिए ना, ये कौन पोस्ट में है बोलिए? देवांजन मंडल, उसका कौन पार्टी का क्या पोस्ट में? हाँ, टीएमसी का युवा मोर्चा का अध्यक्ष देवांजन मंडल, इसका एक्यूज नेम 1 पानीब्रत चौधरी क्या पोस्ट में है? ये कॉन्ट्रैक्टर है पंचायत समिति का। देव कुमार देव उनका डिस्ट्रिक्ट कमेटी का मेंबर है। हाँ, श्रमिक संगठन लेबर यूनियन का प्रेसिडेंट है। ये सबका नाम है भाई साहब, आप वीडियो फुटेज देख लीजिए, मैं एक चैनल में दे दिया। सब नॉन टीएमसी लीडर।
शुभेंदु जी, एक आखिरी सवाल करूंगा क्योंकि आप इस वक्त पुलिस स्टेशन पर हैं
मैं
और आप
धरने में बैठा
मांग भी
हूँ,
कर रहे हैं।
जितना टाइम तक अरेस्ट नहीं करेगा छोड़ने वाला नहीं है।
आप कह रहे हैं कि जब तक 10 के 10
नहीं छोड़ने वाला है। मैं नंदीग्राम का आंदोलन किया, ममता मुख्यमंत्री हुआ, उनको मैं हराया 21 में। मैं छोड़ने वाला नहीं हूँ
जी,
छोड़ने वाला नहीं हूँ
जी।
ये जंगल राज खत्म करना चाहिए, जान देना है तो दूंगा, लेकिन बंगाल को डेमोक्रेसी बहाल करने के लिए, बंगाल को शांति लाने के लिए काम करूंगा।
जी, शुभेंदु जी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद रिपब्लिक टीवी से बात करने के लिए। दैट वाज लीडर ऑफ द ऑपोजिशन शुभेंदु अधिकारी स्पीकिंग टू रिपब्लिक टीवी। लेट मी also bring in Kishalai Bhattacharya, who's joining us on this broadcast. Kishalai, take us through the details that you're picking up. Shuvendu here says that he was brutally assaulted. In fact, an attempt was actually made to torch his vehicle, set ablaze his convoy. These are some very serious allegations that have been leveled. Have you heard anything from the district administration as to what really happened on the ground?
Well, right now, as Shubhendu Adhikari was speaking to Republic TV, he was also live on Republic Bangla. He is sitting in the police beat, local police station, Chandrakona police beat. In this local police station, Shubhendu Adhikari is sitting, as he himself pointed out. He will be sitting for a dharna till the time all these accused are arrested. On the other hand, as you are asking me whether we are getting any information or reaction from the district administration, from the police administration, no, we did not. The police administration, in fact, is mum on this issue. On the other hand, there were police personnel. There was a pilot car in front of Shubhendu Adhikari, which is provided by the police department. What was that pilot car doing? If there were 10-20 people coming in with huge sticks and petrol and kerosene in their hands, and then they attacked Shubhendu Adhikari's convoy. They vandalized 2 vehicles, as alleged by Shubhendu Adhikari himself. What was the police convoy, police car doing? What were the police personnel doing is a question. Shubhendu Adhikari is saying that in fact the police personnel were helping or being inactive in order to let these miscreants take charge and do what they wanted. Shubhendu Adhikari is saying that these miscreants are sent by TMC, local TMC, and these are goons supported by the TMC who wanted to attack him, and in fact it was a fatal attack and they could have killed him. This is what Shubhendu Adhikari is saying. He's sitting, the leader of opposition of West Bengal is sitting in a local police station on the floor. He is sitting on the floor. In fact, he is saying, I won't budge, I won't move until and unless these miscreants are arrested. On the other hand, he had a program today evening around 5 p.m. at Purulia. He was returning back to Kolkata. While returning on this Chandrakona Road, this is in West Mednipur district of West Bengal. His convoy was stopped suddenly by 20 miscreants allegedly, and they started beating and they started hitting his convoy vehicles with big sticks and wooden blocks. And they also had, according to Shubhendu Adhikari, canisters of kerosene in their hand. So what was their objective? Whether they wanted to set ablaze Shubhendu Adhikari's convoys or question that people are asking right now. Shubhendu Adhikari is present, along with him several BJP leaders, several local BJP leaders are also present. We believe there are more BJP MLAs are also moving towards this police station where he is sitting. He's giving his first reaction as well on Republic Bangla Live right now. His convoy has been attacked and he spoke to Republic TV goons who in fact attacked him fatally, and he wants these people, these miscreants, to be arrested, and he will be sitting there in a dharna till the time that happens.
Just one quick question before I let you go. In fact, could you help us understand who are these accused that Shubhendu was essentially talking about? Do we have any idea? Because he has now given some evidence that they belong to the Trinamool Congress, because all this while the Trinamool Congress time and again has always said this, that these are perhaps baseless allegations. There is nothing to prove that these are Trinamool Congress workers. What is it that you're picking up in terms of who was really behind the attack?
Shubhendu Adhikari had a list of names. He has a video which is showing. He is specifically taking names. I don't have the exact list which he is talking about, but he is reading out names and he's saying their designations within the district party. He's saying that these people are connected to the local TMC organization. On the other hand, I'll update you that we also tried to ask for the reaction of the OC of this police station where Shubhendu Adhikari is sitting. He has just told us, he has just given reaction that they are doing their investigation. This is what the police is saying when we approach them, but they are mostly on what kind of investigation. Why didn't the police react when the goons attacked? Why didn't the police pilot car react? What was the police doing? What was the police minister doing? Mamata Banerjee is herself the police minister as well. Why the police was inactive? Why Shubhendu Adhikari is taking names and still are not yet been arrested. It has been, he's sitting there since 8:30 and it's 9:53 now. So it has been more than 1 hour that Shubhendu Adhikari is sitting for a dharna, almost 1.5 hours. Taking names, is showing visuals of these people who have arrested. Where is police intelligence? These are local people, Shubhendu Adhikari is saying, but still they are not arrested as of yet.
Well, thank you very much, Kishalai, for getting us that top story coming in from West Bengal, where leader of the opposition, Shubhendu Adhikari, has now made a claim that he was attacked by Trinamool Congress goons. And as we speak, he carries out a sit-in protest in West Medinipur in Bengal. As the elections are coming around the corner, both the parties have now upped the ante, a story that we will be tracking very closely.
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला। मुस्कुराए लड़खड़ाए जिंदगी, चाहे जो भी हो।
सर, पेशेंट के लिए कौन सा रूम प्रेफर करेंगे आप?
जिंदगी भर के प्यार का कोई रेट कार्ड नहीं होता। टाटा AIG हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, विद यू लाइक फैमिली, विद यू ऑलवेज।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता, उबालो, मिलाओ और खाओ, 8 मिनट में तैयार। क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा, आर प्योर मसाला।
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला। सिप सिप जीरा सिप जीरा सिप, MDH का जल जीरा सिप जीरा सिप, MDH का जल जीरा सिप।
The icy cold waters of the Atlantic Ocean are getting hot, and how? The United States, in an overnight operation, has seized 2 oil tankers, one in the North Atlantic near Iceland, the other one near the Caribbean Sea. The one caught or seized near Iceland is Russia flagged, and the one that's caught near the Caribbean Sea was apparently a shadow tanker, a dark tanker carrying Venezuelan oil to China. Now, both the tankers were carrying Venezuelan oil, which is sanctioned by the United States. There is an embargo. It's interesting and a little curious how the 2 tankers could leave
Well, Iran is witnessing its most volatile unrest in years. As protests spread across cities, Iran's exiled Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi is now openly calling for a nationwide uprising. The protest crisis has drawn sharp reactions from Washington and an extraordinary threat from a senior Iranian official against US President Donald Trump. Here's a full detailed report.
Iran is on the edge. The Iranian regime, unleashing brute force to quell protest and survive, is faced with the protesters fighting back. As nationwide demonstrations continue for the 13th day, triggered by economic collapse, rising taxes and high inflation, The women of Iran, long suppressed under the regime, have taken to the streets and social media in bold and unique ways. Defiance is at its peak in their demonstration, and strength is inspirational in their determination. The defiant Iranian women are lighting cigarettes using photographs of Supreme Leader Khamenei, and in Iran, burning the leader's image is a criminal offense, and women smoking in public is restricted under religious law. Another video from Tehran showing an elderly woman with blood on her lips during a nighttime protest has gone viral, becoming the raw face of Iran's growing unrest. As protests rage, the United States has issued a fresh warning to Iran. Speaking to reporters at the White House, Donald Trump has said that Iran was in big trouble and that Washington was closely watching the situation.
So Iran's in big trouble. It looks to me that the people are taking over certain cities that nobody thought were really possible just a few weeks ago. We're watching the situation very carefully. I've made the statement very strongly that if they start killing people like they have in the past, we will get involved. We'll be hitting them very hard where it hurts. And that doesn't mean boots on the ground, but it means hitting them very, very hard where it hurts. So we don't want that to happen. There have been cases like this where President Obama totally backed down. But this is something pretty incredible that's happening in Iran. It's an amazing thing to watch. They've done a bad job. They've treated their people very badly, and now they're being paid back. So let's see what happens. We're watching it. We're watching it very closely.
Meanwhile, exiled Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi has also urged Iranians to launch a mass uprising, asking protesters to seize city centers and paralyze the economy. In a post on social media, Pahlavi praised demonstrators for defying government threats and said that these have shaken Iran's leadership. Tehran, meanwhile, has responded with a chilling counter-threat. Senior Iranian official Hassan Rahimpour Azghari suggested that President Trump should be captured in retaliation for US warnings. Azghari said that Iran should do to Trump what the US did to Nicolas Maduro. With street protests expanding, US pressure mounting, and threats now flying at the highest level, Iran's political crisis is rapidly turning into a dangerous international flashpoint.
A major security scare has emerged from Ayodhya's Ram Mandir complex. A man from Kashmir was detained after he allegedly attempted to offer namaz inside the high-security temple premises and reportedly raised slogans when stopped. The incident has now sparked a serious question over the security arrangements at one of the country's most sensitive religious sites. Here's more on the story.
Ayodhya's Ram Mandir, one of the most heavily guarded religious sites in the country, witnessed a shocking security scare on Friday. A 55-year-old man from Kashmir, identified as Ahmed Sheikh, reportedly attempted to offer namaz inside the temple complex. He allegedly sat near the Sita Rasoi area and began preparing for prayers when security personnel noticed his actions. Temple security immediately intervened and detained him before handing him over to the police for questioning. Some sources claim that the man raised slogans when stopped, but authorities say that this part is still under verification. Investigating agencies are now trying to understand his intent, his movements inside the high security zone, and how he gained access to sensitive areas. With massive crowds expected for the upcoming Makar Sankranti celebrations, the incident has forced security agencies to review every layer of protection at the Ram Mandir complex.
A recent special investigation team report submitted to the Maharashtra Home Department has triggered fresh political and administrative tremors. The report alleges an attempt to falsely implicate Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis and Deputy Chief Minister Eknath Shinde in a criminal case that was during the previous regime, when Fadnavis was the leader of the opposition and Shinde was a minister in Uddhav Thackeray's cabinet. Now, the findings of the SIT led by former DGP Rashmi Shukla, compiled after months of inquiry, suggest that the revised
revival of an old 2016 police case in Thane district was not a routine legal exercise but part of a calculated effort to target the two senior leaders, the leader of the opposition and cabinet minister of the time. This comes at a time when the former DGP has just hung in her boots, and this report has been also submitted earlier today. Deputy Chief Minister Eknath Shinde said that he would be looking into the findings of this particular report and action will be taken. This comes at a time when allegations have also been levelled by the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Devendra Fadnavis, that time and again, in the past, when Uddhav Thackeray was the Chief Minister, there was an attempt that was essentially made to target him. False cases were being propped up, and in fact, this SIT inquiry that has been carried out essentially reveals the same. Prime Minister Modi arrived at Somnath in Gujarat today to mark 1,000 years of resistance. In fact, he participated in the Omkar mantra chanting at the Somnath temple. The Prime Minister will be participating in the Somnath Swabhiman Parv tomorrow. He will be inaugurating the vibrant Gujarat Regional Conference for Kutch and Saurashtra region at Rajkot tomorrow. Further, he will be also meeting German Chancellor Merz in Ahmedabad on 12th of January. Prime Minister Modi and Chancellor Merz is set to visit Sabarmati Ashram and also participate in the International Kite Festival in Ahmedabad. In fact, earlier today, as part of the Somnath Swabhiman Parv, which essentially commemorates 1,000 years since the first attack by Mahmud of Ghazni on the Somnath temple in 1026. The Parv basically celebrates the enduring spirit of India's civilization and rich cultural and spiritual heritage. Take a look.
Pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
मुस्कुराए लड़खड़ाए जिंदगी चाहे जो भी हो।
सर, पेशेंट के लिए कौन सा रूम प्रेफर करेंगे आप?
जिंदगी भर के प्यार का कोई रेट कार्ड नहीं होता। टाटा AIG हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, विद यू लाइक फैमिली, विद यू ऑलवेज।
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
मेरी चिमनी टूट जाएगी। What are you doing?
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास
बार।
वाओ मम्मा क्या स्वाद है।
अरे मेरे राजा।
मुस्कुराए लड़खड़ाए जिंदगी चाहे जो भी हो।
सर, पेशेंट के लिए कौन सा रूम प्रेफर करेंगे आप?
जिंदगी भर के प्यार का कोई रेट कार्ड नहीं होता। टाटा AIG हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, विद यू लाइक फैमिली, विद यू ऑलवेज।
The icy cold waters of the Atlantic Ocean are getting hot, and how? The United States, in an overnight operation, has seized 2 oil tankers, one in the North Atlantic near Iceland, the other one near the Caribbean Sea. The one
with the great Jeffrey Sachs. He's a global luminary on policy, geostrategy, economics, professor at Columbia University, and former director of the Earth Institute and senior advisor at the UN. Thank you very much, Dr. Sachs. It's a great pleasure and privilege, in fact, to have you on Republic this evening.
Well, the privilege is mine, so thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. All of your timing of your appearance on Republic couldn't have been better, because we've heard that Trump has approved a bill to punish those who buy uranium or petroleum products from Russia. And that, according to this bill, of which I've seen a draft, at least 500% tariffs should be imposed on these countries. This is going into the unreal sphere. First question, is he likely to do something as drastic in your view?
With Trump, things are out of control. He's invading countries. He's threatening countries. He left more than 50 treaties and UN organizations today. He's a psychologically unstable person in a political system that has broken down in the United States, so we don't have constitutional control. Tomorrow, it is said that the Supreme Court might rule on the legality of Trump's overall tariff system. If the court is honest, which is a big assumption, of course, in the U.S. these days, but if the court turns out to be honest, it will strike down all of what has happened up until now, because Trump has grossly abused his power. This is unconstitutional, what he has been doing. It is illegal, but he's gotten away with it because we are not in a constitutional order in the United States right now. We are in some combination of rule by the security apparatus and a very intemperate president.
Now, you have said don't play the American game. India is too big for a US game. My question is that you also said recently that India and China ought to get along in view of this strategic unpredictability of the Trump administration. What shape do you believe such an arrangement can take, given that there are already, we have a long history of tensions with and trust issues with China, and likewise perhaps? And how would it serve India's interests in the long term and the aftermath of the Trump era if we are to try and get along with China, or China is to try and get along with us? Are you looking at an ad hoc arrangement only for the Trump period, or a long-term understanding?
Oh, absolutely for a long term, because we should be moving, and we can be moving, to a truly multipolar and multilateral world. I've urged China very strongly to press for, and I think it would work, India to have the 6th permanent seat at the UN Security Council. I think this is extremely important to save the UN. So I want India to have a permanent seat in the Security Council. I want China to support that. And I want India and China to resolve their disputes, because the main objective of the two should be to create a multipolar world that is not dominated by the United States or dominated by the West, because that's passé. And in order for that to happen, that requires cooperation. The BRICS is a great format for that. But for the United States, it, up until this year, was trying to play India. You join us against China. One of the policies I really, really think is misguided for India, I'm sorry to say, is the Quad. What is India doing in the Quad? India is a great power. It should not be part of an American game because that is disadvantageous for India. It's disadvantageous for a multipolar world. It's disadvantageous for stability. The Quad is an American game, and India is too great a country to play an American game. Now, I think everyone sees, I've been saying it for a long time, and friends in India didn't quite believe me, the United States is unstable, it is irresponsible, it's actually dangerous. And this, I think, has to be taken to heart. I'm sorry to say, it is a reality right now.
Professor Sachs, there are some people in India, who always favor a longer-term, deeper understanding with America and look upon our alignments either with Russia or China on the one side or with America on the other. And given that many people historically over the years, influential people in politics and business have been leaning towards America, their argument is this, Professor Sachs, that look here, this is a temporary situation. Don't go versus America because of Trump, because Trump is going to be a lame duck after the midterm elections. I don't think so. I just began by saying in my lead tonight that I think Trump is so erratic, he's going to want a third term. So I believe it's a long-term problem. But what would you say to those Indians who would say, listen, just hold your cards, do nothing as of now?
Well, I would say